Hi guys, this is Anupam here and welcome to my channel Knowledge for You. So in this video we are going to develop the PHP code for registration and we will validate the input fields and then ultimately we are going to save the user to the database. So let's get to work. Let's open our code editor. In the previous video we have created the registration form and now we are going to add, first thing what we are going to do is we are going to add two attributes to our registration form. One is post method, one is method, and we will put a value post. I'll get back to what this means, and the next one is action. And under action we will put code $_server PHP self. So the method attribute tells the form that how it should submit the data to the server. There are two methods available. One is get, another is post. We are going to use post because it helps us to submit the data securely in the server. If you submit the form through get method, all the input values that you are giving to this form will be visible to the URL, and any hacker who is wishing to harm your site or harm your form, he can just grab the data from there and do some malicious attacks. The second attribute that we just entered is action. Action attribute tells us that where to submit this form data, whether you want to submit to a different page or whether you want to submit the data to the page itself where the form is located. So for this video I want to submit the data to this page itself. So that is why I have used a super global variable called server. So there in PHP there are several super global variables available. One of them is server $_post, which we are going to use in couple of minutes, and there is $_get, there is $_request, there is $_session. These super global variables are available. Now here we have entered the method and the action attribute. Now we will start our PHP coding. Here just at the top of doc type HTML we are going to start our coding. So put the PHP tag over there. First thing what we need to do is we will see that whether our form is submitted or not. In order to do that, whether I am just making a comment whether the form is submitted or not, because when you are submitting the data to the page itself where the form is located, you need to make sure that your form is, whether you are submitting the form or whether you are just displaying the form for the first time. So that is why we need to check it. So in order to check that, we just need to see that whether there is any data available in the $_post super global variable. So I just going to write if $_post, and within that we will write our code. So first thing, if the data is submitted, we need to make a database connection. Okay. Here we are going to use MySQL connection. There are several types of connections available. Till PHP 5 there was MySQL connection available, but after that there is MySQL I and the PDO. There's these three types of connections APIs are available to connect to the database in PHP. My preferred API for connecting to the database for this video is MySQL. You can use video if you want, but I am going to use MySQL. So let's just connect to the database by writing MySQL connect, and then we just need to put the host where the database is located. In our case, it is localhost, as we are writing this as our database is hosted on local, and we'll put the username. In this case, it's root. I haven't put any password, so it's blank, and the database name is registration_db. Okay, now we will check whether the database connection is successful or not. Database connection is successful or not. Okay, in order to do that, we write MySQL connect underscore error in O. If there is any MySQL error, it will show up here, and I'll put a echo over here, failed to connect to the database, and connect underscore error. Okay. If there is no connection problem, then I'll just testing here database connected. Okay. So let's go back to our form. I'll just submit the data. Here it shows database connected, so we have successfully connected to the database. Now I'll just remove this, and we'll start coding under the else section, because the database the database connection is here, and now we will write our code within this section. Here first, what we will do is we will just sanitize our input. Sanitize the input data. As a developer, you should not trust the user, because user unknowingly may submit any kind of data. So as a developer, you need to protect that. You need to protect your application by sanitizing the data which has been entered by the user. Okay. So in order to do that, here I am going to use MySQL real escape string, which is going to remove some specific characters which is potentially harmful characters for the database, and that may cause for a hacker, if you keep the input open and don't sanitize your data, they will use these potential harmful characters like single quote, double quote, \n, \r, and can create a SQL injection attack from there. So this is not the subject of this video, but I'll try to create a video where I'll show you how the SQL injection can occur in the database through a form. Okay. So let's for now just sanitize our input. Real escape string, and I'll pass the connection. Sorry. I am doing. Yeah, then I'll post full name. So here, for the time sake, I'll just copy the things and I'll just replace password, confirm password, and I'll put confirm password over here. Next thing what we need to do, we are going to create 3 variables. One is error, another one is success, where we will catch of the success message, and a variable called valid. This valid variable will be initialized with 1. If there is any validation errors will occur, then I will set the valid to 0, and until unless all the validations are successful, the data will not be saved to the database. Okay. So our first validation will be where we should not want the full name to be empty, email to be empty, password and confirm password to be empty. So we are going to check full name should not be empty. So in order to do that, we are going to enter full name equals to blank and $valid equals to 1, because at a time, why I am using valid equals to 1 over here is because I want to show one error one time. So at a time I want to show only one error. So that is why I am using valid equals to 1 along with the full name equals to blank. So here if the full name is blank, then I'll give a error message, please enter your name, and I'll make the valid equals to 0. I'll just copy all these and create like email is empty, email should not be empty, and make it as email if password, enter your password, then confirm password, okay. Now in case of email, we also want to check if it is not empty, then we also want to check whether the email is in valid format or not. So empty and email format is valid or not. So there is a PHP function called filter var which checks the validity of email as well. We are going to see it in a moment. So filter underscore if not filter underscore var will pass email comma filter validate email, and obviously $valid equals to 1, because we don't want to show multiple errors at a time, we just want to show single error at a time. Okay, so here same thing we will do, we will catch the error. If the validation fails, we'll show please enter valid email ID. Okay, and then I'll put valid 0. So here I forgot to confirm password. Okay, now last thing what we are going to check, whether password and confirm password are matched or not. Password matched or not. Okay, then if $password not equals to $confirm password and $valid equals to 1, then we will put error equals to please password and confirm password doesn't match. Okay, $valid is 0. Okay, now the final thing, that if valid equals to 1, then save the data to database. So we will create SQL user, we'll write the SQL query, insert into dt users, values dt users, and what we want to enter here, full name, then email, then password, and values will be full name, don't do that, oh, what I'm doing, full name, then email, then we have our password, okay, but I don't want the password to be seen by the user if they open the database. As a developer, you should not be also able to see all the users' password. So, and it is also a security requirement. So, we will just hash the password with one-way hashing, and we are going to use the algorithm called MD5. So let's, I'll just put it before setting the database. So encrypt the password, and I'll put equals to MD5. So the MD5 algorithm has been represented in PHP through MD5 function, and that's it. Now use MySQL underscore query $on SQL. Okay, if not MySQL underscore error, and I'll pass the connection over here. Then I'll put the success message over here. User saved successfully. Okay, and all the errors should go away if it is getting shown up. Else, if there is any problem with the saving, it should give me something went wrong. Okay, and success, I'll keep it as blank as well. Before we test this, I just want to create two tips, one for error, just to show that error professionally, and another is success. Okay, and I'll put the errors inside this div. I'll put the success message inside this div as well. Okay, but it is also, let's first style these divs first, and then we will just restrict it from being shown every time. Okay, so we will do error. So we'll make the width 100%, then we will give it a height of suppose 30px, and then give it a padding top 10px. We will give it a background color. Let's again bring up the color palette. We'll choose the color like this. I want the color to be, text color to be white, or you just need to make it a little bit bigger. So font size, font weight. Okay, let's just make it bold. That's it. That will do. And obviously we want that to be center. In similar way, I'll just copy this and I'll create the success class. Everything will remain same except one thing. You just need to give a margin bottom to be 20px, so it doesn't just stick to the form. Okay, so margin bottom 20px. Okay, margin bottom 20px, and I want the background color of this to be green. Okay, now let's just go to the form and see what's there. Okay, it is showing up in line number 94 and 95 because we don't have these error variables. So in order to do that, our errors are showing up properly over here, errors and success divs. So what we'll do is, if is set $error and error not equals to blank, then just show error, otherwise don't show me error. Same way for success, if is set $success and $success not equals to blank, then just show the success message. Okay, it will go away. But if now let's test the form. first we will check whether our validations are working properly or not. Oh, I have made spelling mistake over here. This is one. So you can see that email, that warning goes away, and here we are having our first validation. Please enter your name. Now let's enter my name, Roy, and then if I press again, it just give me enter your email. But these values are going away. So what thing you can do is you just need to make it as okay. So for now let's just test it. Anupam, then enter email like anupam@example.com. okay, so it should not show me any error regarding email and password, but it should always show me the error via password. So again, anupam@example.com, and my password is abcd@123. Let's just give a wrong password, abcd@. Now let's see, it is giving me password. Another validation I want to test here is whether my email format is valid or not. So I'll put anupam@ or anupam@ over here, and doesn't put anything. I'll put abcd@123. I'll put abcd@123. So it is giving. So all my validations are correct. It is catching up properly. So I am not now just going to enter the data into the database. I'll put my first name, anupam@example.com, and then I'll put password abcd@123, cd@123, and I'll register. Oh, one thing I forgot here is there is no variable called SQL, is SQL user. So that is the error. So that is the error over here. I'll again enter, and I'll give anupam@example.com, and then abcd@123, abcd@123, and submit. So now the user is saved successfully. And so you can go to the database and check whether the data is properly saved or not. You can see the data is properly saved into the database. So that's it from this video. You can extend this form much more professionally and securely by adding a email verification for the user, that whether the email that has been entered by the user is proper or not, whether that particular email actually exists in real world or not. That is number one. Second thing, you can add a captcha which will prevent all the bots to enter to randomly register it into your system. Then you can also check, another thing I didn't check is that whether there is any duplicate user in the database or not. That means I can enter multiple anupam@example.com and I can create duplicate user in the database. So duplicate user check is must, and I haven't done this. I should have, but for the shortage of time, I just kept it very simple. You can take it as a task for yourself and do it. So that's it. Hope you have liked this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. I'll try to come up with more videos which you will like. So please do encourage me by clicking on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the bell icon, so that anytime I upload any video, you should get notified immediately. Thank you very much for watching.